lending a hand no matter who you are. Counseling with love, she's a guiding light, seeing the good even in the fight. Dr. Phil's wisdom she throws in the mix, momming it up with her signature fix. Mama with a mission strong and true, changing the world with every view. Special needs kids in her embrace, champion for them a saving grace. Mama with a mission strong and true, changing the world with every view. Special needs kids in her embrace, champion for them a saving grace. Dedicated mind, always on the track, never letting injustice slip through the crack. Voice for the voiceless, she stands tall, breaking barriers, tearing down the wall. Every opinion she gives with care, helping others understand and share. In a world that can be so damn tough, her wisdom and love are more than enough. Mama with a mission strong and true, changing the world with every view. Special needs kids in her embrace, champion for them a saving grace. Mama with a mission strong and true, changing the world with every view. Special needs kids in her embrace, champion for them a saving grace. Yeah, champion for them a saving grace.
Running a PTA with a smile so sweet, hands in the air like she's gotta preach, solving mysteries with a truth so deep, spreading love, never out of reach. Advocate with a voice so clear, lifting up kids, chasing away the fear. Got her facts straight like a newsroom star, helping hearts heal from near and far. Oh, she's momming it up in style, every step, every mile. With a heart that's fierce, she lights the night, fighting for love like a warrior so bright. In the counselor's chair, she's got your back, advice so smooth, never gonna lack. Dr. Phil vibes, but 10 times more open, hope, third at heart, she's the one they adore. Seeing the good, she'll find the gold, even in stories that were once so cold. Eyes like a hawk, she's on the prowl, for every single truth, she'll walk that mile. Oh, she's momming it up in style, every step, every mile. With a heart that's fierce, she lights the night, fighting for love like a warrior so bright. And the warrior so bright. Oh, she's momming it up in style, every step, every mile. With a heart that's fierce, she lights the night, fighting for love like a warrior so bright. In the counselor's chair, she's got your back, advice so smooth, never gonna lack. Dr. Phil vibes, but 10 times more open, hope, third at heart, she's the one they adore. counselor's chair. She's got
Hello, everybody. How are you? Let me get a little more situated. I hope you're doing well. I'm so happy that I was able to get on. I had some technical issues tonight, and we really wanted to start out this series that we're going to be doing. I'm going to have some assistance from my husband from time to time, some friends and acquaintances that I have met. And let me just tell you a little bit about what we're going to be doing. Right? I know you're going to head off. Right? We're going to do some stuff. So I'll start my intro again. Welcome to Momming It Up. This is our YouTube channel, and hello to my ex community. If you're new here, I am Cece Ann, and this is where we're going to dive into real talk about different things from family, community, issues that matter to us the most and that we would like to have some public discourse on. We're going to be going over a series that we're going to kick off that's going to be about Sebastian Rogers, and we're going to call it A Case Revisited. It's going to be the first episode tonight where we're going to be deep diving into the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers, who is a sweet boy that's still missing. It's been almost a year and a half. And I recently, had took some substantial time off to be with my family. But after a lot of people were inquiring, have I just stopped discussing Sebastian? I wanted to come back and say absolutely not. We are just getting started. We have decided that our schedule fits perfectly now to start doing a revisit of Sebastian's online case discussion. In this series, we're going to go back to the basics of the Sebastian Rogers case. We're going to look at every angle, every perspective, all the information that has been available to us publicly. After a year and a half of such intense speculation and so little official information that was released, it's kind of time that we lay it all out, right? So we're going to go back to the beginning. Yep. And you haven't seen hardly any of these. So it should be really interesting to get your input on certain things. I'm going to just quickly go over to this first little video that I have, and that's going to be just a little video that was given to us from a couple different interviews from the parents where they asked for the public's help in keeping Sebastian Rogers' name out there. We're going to be doing this as well with as unbiased of an opinion as possible. And we ask that everybody remain respectful, but we will understand that everybody's going to have different opinions, different speculation. We are going to go over the mom, the dad, the stepdad, law enforcement, different things that were publicly known. And tonight we're going to start out with one of the first calls that we had just heard about from the McCoys. But as I said before we get into that, I do want to just go over this beginning little intro thing that I made here that does discuss the parents' desire to have Sebastian talked about until he is located or justice is found, right? And also a message where his dad talks to him directly as well. It's about 5 to 10 minutes. I'll be in chat. Let me know if for any reason you can't hear me, and I thank you all for being here.
That I need you to be working toward
until we find him. If you had a chance to speak to him directly, what would you say to him? What do you need from him, Seth?
I need you to remember what I have taught you. Sebastian, you are a fighter. You are a survivalist. I have taught you to never give up on yourself, never give up on me. I have told you from the get-go that I will be there. I am not there for you right now, but I am trying to get there to you. And I need you to maintain your strength and your faith to know that I am coming for you, son. I am coming for you. I'm not going to stop. And I need you to remember that I need you to be working towards getting to me. You must stay strong. You must stay focused on your survival. Have faith in me, son, because I'm going to have faith in you. I'm going to find you. I'm going to bring you home. Just need you to sit there and wait. If you see this, you know my phone number. Area code is 931, in case you forgot that. But 911 is so easy, Sebastian Wayne. Call them and tell them who you are. Tell them that your dad is Seth Rogers. I love you, and I know you can do it because you're a part of me. The strength I have is the strength that you have. The only difference between me and you, Sebastian, is you have more strength than me. You have more faith than me because you're a better version of me. Love you. I will find you. And nothing's going to stop me from finding you.
For our viewers, before we end this, I guess your message for them is just keep hope alive.
Yes. Remember him.
Keep looking.
Share his face, because talking about him is what we want to do, but we want to make sure that people know his face. We want to know that people know who they're looking for, and we would just ask that everyone just kind of be aware of your surroundings in general. You never know, and all it takes is just one person that could make a difference. And go ahead.
I would say, if anything, constantly being vigilant, just looking out there, aware of what your surroundings are. Please, if you see something, call 911, call TBI. I know there's a lot of other things out there, but
We would encourage.
it needs to be segregated, like just a single point of right back to law enforcement. That's where it needs to go. Anybody that sees anything, just report it, please.
Do you feel that there's someone out there right now that knows something? They're just not saying it?
It's hard to say until we can run down this video and figure out what we're seeing. I don't want to speculate. I don't want to, it's because it's an active investigation. I don't want to add any more
Rumor.
chaos that's already out there. We just want to keep this to the core, Sebastian.
Keeping hope alive.
Yes.
The
Keeping
search
hope
goes
alive.
on. We are hopeful and we are praying for you.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time. Thank you for talking with me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Which is to viewers.
My message would be, first and foremost, thank you. Thank you for helping spread him, his flyer, his story. So many people that I would say that I love you so very much.
Sees you. So let's say Sebastian is listening when this is running and he hears you, he sees you. What do you want to say to him?
I would say that I love you so very much, and that I hope that you're okay. And I would say that know that we all love you, and that there are so many people that care and so many people that are looking, and hang in there and know that we're going to find you, know that we're going to bring you home. Just, I miss him so much.
So at this point, it's keep searching. People keep looking. So at this point, it's keep searching. People keep looking.
Keep searching, keep looking. We keep putting up new flyers. I know a lot of places, they take them down after so long. We just keep going back and putting more up. I refer to my original request, just anyone that's willing, don't let him become forgotten. Don't let him become lost in the next story, not to supersede other children, because they all deserve just as much, if not more attention, because all children do. But I would say just please don't let him become forgotten and lost, because we're never going to stop. We're never going to let that happen if we can help it.
With his
So that was just little couple clips that I had put together that the parents had made, you know, kind of highlighting how they were asking for the public to make sure that Sebastian does not become forgotten, and that they were looking for him. And Seth talked directly to him. Often Seth, his father, talks directly to him, it seems. And I just want to welcome everybody in chat. Hi, Trishy. It's so nice to see you. I hope everything's going well. Oh, vacation sounds great. Hello, Will Red. I didn't finish exactly what this series is going to be, I realized too, but I guess I should go over that again since you kindly pointed that out. So after a year and a half of intense speculation and limited information released, I believe it's time to go back to the basics and start from the beginning of the online case discussion. This will help those who weren't around early on to understand how the case became so dramatic and why, in my opinion, law enforcement may choose not to engage when they see a social media circus unfold. We all know I have a feeling that they're sealed indictments. Not many agree. I think there could be something underway. At least I pray that there are some answers coming. But many others have speculated that the online dynamics resemble a defense attorney strategy, as if all three parents were directly working, collaborating, so to speak, to confuse a potential jury pool. Others believe Sebastian ran away, while some suspect the mother's involvement. Others point out, I think you were saying about the stepdad. He's been brought up a lot. And some think all of the parents were complicit in a plan that might have run awry. I mean, there's just so many different opinions, especially being locally, just hearing some people and what they've heard, if they've even heard. Some do, some don't, right? It's just very dramatically different than what we hear online.
Yep.
Right? And I know it's definitely been different for us personally, so all of our viewers know our story and how Sebastian became such a focal point of our prayers. And, it's just really heartbreaking that he's still not found. And that's what we're hoping to do. We're hoping to just go to the basics. And I still do personally believe that there is a case being built. It's being investigated, and that one day we will get answers. But by examining all sides and all perspectives, we're aiming to keep Sebastian Rogers, his name in the public eye, to raise some awareness about the disappearance when so many don't know that he's even missing. And as he still has not been found, right? We know he's not been found yet, and there's no arrests. We haven't even been told publicly that there's a suspect, right? There's no suspect that we've been aware of publicly. So it's heartbreaking because we do hope that there is justice coming if there is foul play. And, we just kind of look forward to diving into this with everybody from the start to the finish and just showing all of the different interviews and different things that have been said by law enforcement and giving our unasked 2 cents. But it's asked because you're on the channel. So if you're here listening, you're asking for our 2 cents because you're in our internet home, so to speak. And I'm going to just remind everybody real quick, and this will get a lot easier as time goes on and I get more familiar with hopping around. Hold on one second. The intros will go a lot faster because this is going to be probably a few weeks to a few months long. There's a lot to go over. So all the content in this video, in any live stream, any podcast that you'll hear on Momming It Up, it will consist of theories, opinions, and alleged information. As of now, no one has been publicly named a suspect, and everyone is presumed innocent until proven guilty. That is in a court of law. This video is intended for open discussion on public matters, protected under fair use and freedom of I can never finish saying it without getting tongue-tied because it's so late in the day. When it's late in the day, I think a lot of us moms, even dads, right? If you do a lot of talking, it's like your mouth is just done with the talking, right? So again, the video is intended for open discussion on public matters protected under fair use and freedom of speech in the United States. It is for educational and entertainment purposes only. The camera to me is such a distraction. It just distracts me. All right, let's see. Let me get this other one on here. I wanted to, where did it go? Oh. One moment, everyone. I'm looking for some of the drone footage I wanted to put up, and then I'll start this interview for you. Because I haven't listened to it all. And it was not really an interview, but I guess it kind of was. But it was just released by the McCoys. And it was a phone conversation that they had with the stepfather. And it was from October of last year. But since it just came out, and there's been so many things going on in the last few weeks with other cases, I don't know if a lot of people have heard it yet. So I figured it would be a good place to start and, you know, be able to discuss. Let me just take a little look over here and see if I can access this a little easier. Oh, here it is. All right, so I have the McCoys, and I do have a link to their video in my description. I'll also try to post it in chat. Before I do that, I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of the, oh, how do I get this off here? A little bit of this footage from when Sebastian had first disappeared and the helicopters were out trying to assist in, you know, searching for him. Let's see if I can get it to be bigger. I have it saved, but I don't have the whole thing saved where it makes it easy to put it up, you know, in its entirety. All right, just one moment. Okay, let's see, how do we get this off? I need like a producer type person again to do all of this because it takes me forever, but I know I'll get the hang of it. It'll all come back to me. Right? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like riding a bike. Once you learn how to ride a bike,
you don't forget.
I have no idea if I'm going to remember. So this was some of the drone footage that was taken on the 27th in the search for Sebastian Rogers in the area around where he lived. And let's see. I'll speed it up for you. And it's just showing the area in which he lived. You'll see a lot of law enforcement presence. You'll also see all the drainage and different ponds and lakes and just how many houses there are, which is what a lot of people had discussed, is there's so many cameras, right? There's a lot of cameras in these areas, I am sure, when it comes to Ring video doorbells and trail cams and even traffic cams. There's a website and an app where you can actually look at cameras, which I will show you during the McCoys video that Tennessee has. I think it's called ththe or something. But as you can see, there's law enforcement in one of the entrances into, you know, I think it says Victoria Place. And then this was all new construction, but I believe these homes are pretty much all completed, if not more. Yeah, there was a lot more homes that had been built. And that's the school is right next to where Sebastian resided, just so you can get an aerial view. I think that's the firehouse, right? And this is how many people were out searching for Sebastian Rogers. This is the 27th, so this is Tuesday. They called police around 6:30 a.m., I think, on Monday the 25th, 26th. Was it 6:30? It was I believe it was around 6:30 a.m., Monday, February 26th. But there was just so many people there trying to help find this sweet young boy. And it's heartbreaking that they didn't find him. So you can see people were on horseback. And I mean, there was just officers all over the place. It was a definite all hands on approach. And as you can tell, you have so much happening with the helicopters in the wooded areas because that's what they're doing, right? They're wanting to make sure he's not into, you know, any of these wooded areas or had gotten injured or so. And we'll go over this more later on. I just thought I'd give you a little overview of the immediate surroundings of where Sebastian was in the highway. And now I'll get into, how do I get over there to this one? Did you guys ever see any of this? Any of the footage of the aerial view of the second day of the search for Sebastian? And this is the McCoys interview. So this is a link directly to the McCoys. I'm going to thank them for publishing this so that we have it to go over. And we'll get into that now. And I'll be chiming in according to fair use to give my 2 cents.
These questions about school. It's just not.
And I'll put it on here. You're going to head to bed for a bit, right? Because you have work early, and then you can finish listening while you're in there,
Yep.
and then give us our feedback tomorrow.
Yep.
Would you like to say anything to our million participant audience?
I guess I'll see you tomorrow, and I can talk maybe more tomorrow. And it's not so late for me.
It is very late for you.
And I have to get up very early, so I will see everyone tomorrow.
All right, good night. Love you.
Perceptions that people has. You know, I just it will change, and it was attention
He's still getting the attention.
for Sebastian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sheila and I talked with Chris on the phone, and she's going to play that message now.
Yep. You'll
We're
hear
going to
that.
talk afterwards. We're not going to interrupt.
Yeah, we're just going to let you all hear what was said.
Before we get into this, I just wanted to show you guys something that I thought was interesting when I was watching this earlier. I don't know if you can see, but my shirt is one of my shirts that says "This Mama Prays." Normally, I don't usually have crosses on my necklace, but my son bought this for me. But it's kind of funny because the McCoys, if you look at the McCoys and what they were wearing, right, in this interview, I just thought it was interesting that they, have a shirt on, and it says God.
And then we'll talk
is-
after that.
Sheila don't like it when I interrupt, stop, start back. I'm sure you all don't either. So I'll try to remember what we talked about. At the end, I've made some notes,
Yeah,
and that's the reason I interrupt, because I forget what people said
I
throughout.
understand.
Any of you police officers out there, especially that worked the case, had dogs that
Mhm.
did anything at all when he gets on here talking, and
Yeah, he said there was like 18 dogs they had there.
when he gets on here talking, if you pick out anything that was said that it's not correct,
But I thought that was interesting. I thought the shirt was interesting because for me, whenever I came to Sebastian's case, I always felt, the Lord was very much directing me and what to look at, what to watch, and just praying for a safe return. Because in our life, we are, our focus as a family is God first, right? And I just thought it was really interesting tonight when I was listening to this that I noticed that, Fred and Sheila, they're also, very, where they put God first and they're not afraid to be authentic in who they are when they're discussing that. And the shirt I just thought was really interesting because I have one of my shirts on and just thought that was really interesting.
bring it to somebody's attention, because we don't know. We don't know what he said, what he didn't. So she's going to play that video.
Like how the Lord works sometimes is like we'll get signs and things like that sometimes. I think the Lord tries to tell us he's always with us for those of us that are believers in Jesus Christ, But I think they're getting into it now where you can listen to the call yourself and then we'll talk about it.
Video right here.
Mm-hmm.
Knew that it was you when it rang. We don't answer. I always let it go to voicemail. And I seen Nashville, and I told Sheila, I said, Chris,
Yep.
what about that?
He just told me.
Thanks for calling us, pal.
You're welcome, sir.
Thanks for calling us. I hope we're right, but we think you and Katie's been treated wrongly. We've been watching some of these videos and some of these people that's doing these shows, and until people's proven to have done something or something like that, there's so many rumors out there, and how do you defend against it? And we wanted to be able to maybe sit down and talk to you all one day. I'm a 40-year retired police officer, and I've solved a few cases in my day, but Sheila and I, we found this body a while back. We're both retired, and we found this shooter on I-75 that had shot those 5 people, and it took us 6 days, and I just had a total change in my Christian life. Yep. And when I started on this Sebastian, people started texting us and say, check on Sebastian. We wasn't familiar with it, and then the more we start checking, the more I see that I used to use the F-bomb myself. I used to use some language, and I used to be real outspoken and tell people, you remind me of myself. And unless people's been accused of something, or how would they react? So anyway, our thing is that we're just, me and Sheila just want to see if someday we could chat with you and Katie, and we don't have to have no cameras or nothing else. We just want to be able to sit down and see if we can help some way, at least to clear up some of the misconceptions that people has.
It's honestly, it just gets to the point where everybody has said so much.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we kind of pushed away from the public eye and talking and getting out there. It's just,
I'll
give you what I can. There's some things I can't give you.
Understandable.
Because that's law enforcement's asked us not to. Sure.
That's understandable.
Sure.
Yes, you would be correct as far as us physically being out in the woods with everybody in the initial days and all this about searching. Law enforcement said, we do not want you out. We do not want you to get in the middle of it, because if something comes about and we need to talk to you or get a hold of you, we know where to find you. Now,
Makes sense.
that was said to all three parents, Seth, Katie, and myself. And we did exactly what they asked.
Sure.
Seth he's a grieving father. He's upset. He's missing his son. You know, I'm not going to speak for how he feels. I'm not going to try to explain why or what he is doing, why he's doing what he's doing. I don't know. When it comes to Katie and myself, we've literally listened to everything that law enforcement says as. And it doesn't matter what it is. Like if they want something, they send me a message, send Katie a message, and they get it.
Sure.
I mean, it's not even a question. You know, I mean, if you want something, what do you want? Come get it.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll bring it to you. Whatever it is, I don't care. You know, I mean, we've been like that since day one. And it's a constant battle with people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah.
We understand that. We had a lady called the other night, text Sheila from West Virginia, and said she's got some information, said y'all need to contact me. And I told Sheila, I said, ask her what part, her phone showed up West Virginia, and I said, ask her what part of Hendersonville she's from and where she has searched at down there. And she wrote back and said, no, I'm not from down that area. I haven't been down there. And then Sheila told her, said, we're sorry, dear. There's so many rumors out there. We don't need more rumors. You know, we're talking to people that know something about it, you know, because all she's going to do is tell us what she has watched on a video or read in the paper. And that's not how you solve cases or work cases, or it's just not.
You know, that's something that my husband and I were talking about, right? Because that's one of the things that I found to be really interesting with Sebastian's case was that while it was gaining so much traction online, you get a lot of people that are tying up resources, even with great intentions, right? Because they're calling in tip lines and utilizing people that need to be utilized for relevant information, right? Not something that they've heard on the internet or they might have heard, 100 times already. It's just something that we were discussing because now that we do live down and we're very local in Tennessee, it is really different. And I can only imagine how overwhelming that was for law enforcement to try to combat that and why they might not always enjoy the social media frenzy that happens. Whereas I think that there's so much valuable information when you can utilize the public, that you can find things and it could help with cases a lot. I can also see that it could cause a lot of problems, and criminals would love that, right? That would be like a defense attorney dream strategy in a way without actually being complicit. So, but if you're looking for a child, you would not want that, right? So I always ask people to be really careful and calling law enforcement with anything that you find on the internet. Think about it, make sure you call non-emergency lines, right? And I can imagine as a parent, that's, aggravating as a step parent as well. That'd be pretty frustrating.
But
well, everybody's upset. Like, I mean, so when you said me at work and all this, okay, well, I'm working in Memphis. I'm sitting in a tower crane as we speak right now.
Sure.
In Memphis on the St. Jude project. I just left my house last night actually from Hendersonville.
My husband just interjected real quick, and I'm just going to rewind this because he had just said, and one of the interesting things is that what he heard from who was it, your coworker? Was that it was Shriners, that they thought that he had been working with Shriners. See, it's like the telephone game, right? So imagine what law enforcement has to shift through and sort through.
I'm working in Memphis. I'm sitting in a tower crane as we speak right now.
Sure.
In Memphis on the St. Jude project. I just left my house last night actually from Hendersonville to come back to work.
Sure.
But when all this initially went down, we called law enforcement. People have a hard time understanding, well, you call 911 because I don't need 911 when I know that I can call directly to the dispatch desk and get a dispatcher.
Yeah, and you're out in the county. We understand it. You're out in the sheriff's department boundary. You won't be in the. Yeah, I heard that, but Sheila and I talked about that. Why would you have to call if you know the number directly? Call the sheriff's office.
Yeah, that's the stuff that everybody doesn't. I'm sorry. I know where I live. I know the numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, for God's sake, every parent should know your area. You should know your fire department. My fire department is a volunteer that's less than a quarter of a mile from my front door.
Sure.
That's my fire department. That's my EMS right there.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. We came down a while back and just walked away. I don't know. Well, like I said, my wife's been a Christian all of her life and all this and that. And I've really
I'm going to butt in because I wanted to remind you that we looked at the aerial view, remember? And if you go back, you'll see how close it really is. So that's something interesting to take note of when it comes to calling first responders that morning. Or like I was wondering, did it not cross Katie's mind, Sebastian's mom, to maybe stop there and bang on the door, knock on the door? I don't know. It's just something that I always thought about because it is right there.
This last thing we worked, I've seen everything in the world in 40 years, but for some reason, it really affected me, and the good Lord's just blessed me. And again, you never know about things. If you're innocent, can you imagine what an injustice that you've been done during all? And that was Sheila and my thing was, and again, I know you're busy. I know you work all the time. I know you, but I think that Sheila and I could, if you and Katie ever get a chance and get a couple hours where we could come down and visit with you. And if you can't, that's understandable. You've done more than I probably expected just calling us, but I think we could do.
Believe it or not, it would have, I am not away from the idea of sitting down and having a conversation with people. And I've told people in the beginning, I will have conversations with people. And I just tell everybody, I'm brash, I'm direct, but I'm respectful.
That's Fred McCoy, buddy.
That's just the way I was raised.
Yeah. Well, that military.
That's the other part of it is I don't have time to sugarcoat people's cookies for them. That's not me.
I used to be like that. I'm trying to change. Sheila's, and the good Lord's changing me on that part, but I'm telling you, people used to say one thing about Fred McCoy, you don't have to go to the country store to find out what he thinks about you. He'll tell you to your face. And I respect people like that. I just think that people need to see a different angle, from a police officer's perspective, from Sheila. Sheila's a retired school teacher Sheila's dealt. We've got a nephew that's autistic, and she's dealt with schools and school systems. Again, me and Sheila just thought that you all had, and Katie, the both of you, at least a person. I'm not going to say we're on your side. We're not on nobody's side, but I guarantee you that your side would get to be heard. From what I understand, he was in the Navy.
Yes.
Haven't they heard?
16 years.
Yeah, 16 years. Well, haven't you never heard he does like a sailor? They used to tell me you curse like a sailor. But I was a Marine. But so you and Katie talk if you get a chance, and you all ever feel like it. Once you're accused, parents already know, Chris, that we're looked at. If something happens to our children today, they would be looking at me and Sheila.
Mhm.
That's just the way we do in police work. And a lot of times that is the case, no doubt. We've got some good questions, and I think you and Katie could put a lot of stuff to rest.
Well, I mean, me and Katie have taken polygraph tests with law enforcement. And we both passed our polygraph test. Seth, as I don't know, only from what I've been told, Seth took a polygraph test through Nancy Grace's TV show.
Okay.
I was advised.
Okay, so that is interesting. Okay, this was October 2024, right? So almost a year ago. But I don't know why he would phrase it in his phrasing of, nonchalantness, that he's not certain of Seth taking a lie detector, which was Sebastian's dad, because it was on the Nancy Grace show. And in fact, they brought the examiner on and they went thoroughly through the process of how they validate the results and why there was, 2 that were taken. It was a big thing. And I remember this being discussed. So it's interesting the way that he was phrasing that. And also I wanted to say that everybody knows that when anybody disappears or something like that, it's always the spouse, the next of kin, so to speak, the mom, the dad, anybody that was closest to the people. Then they look at registered SA, things like that in the area. There's like a whole list of different things that go on, right? So of course you're going to be looked at. And the one thing I never understood was what makes it a trigger when the parents hear other people talking about them, like on our tiny channel like mine, right? I don't think that it really makes much sense to get upset or offended with people commenting on keywording and things like that, because you already know that everybody or everywhere has opinions, right? People always talk, and sometimes people can prove beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law to a jury of their peers that they're innocent. And there's still people that speculate or, just for whatever reason, right? That's just how it is. So I always found it to be interesting that you would care. I wouldn't put any time and effort into somebody that, had something negative to say about me. If I know my truth, I know who I am, I know what I stand for, and I know that I would never have harmed a child, let alone my own, then, what are you letting anybody else's opinions affect you? Anyway, that's just something that I always, kind of don't understand.
Only from what I've been told, Seth took a polygraph test through Nancy Grace's TV show.
Okay.
I was advised by TBI not to do that. So I think that's part of the big thing is they're all upset because, I told Nancy Grace that I would do it. And then when I went and talked to TBI, they said, no, don't recommend you do it. Okay, then that means I'm not doing it.
So this is what I'm going to raise this, question to everyone. Because of the fact that the stepdad is saying that the TBI, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, had told him not to participate in a polygraph exam, that doesn't rise to the level of speculating that there could be corruption or, create a lot of issues with the public perception. If you have a step parent that automatically by default is going to be a person of interest, then would you not become extremely concerned as just a regular citizen of Tennessee to hear that individual was told by the TBI not to engage in a polygraph exam, as if they were representing them in a court of law, like an attorney would do that? Because I know that is what a lot of people, they hear those things and then they wonder, well, if that happened, right? Because Chris is not a liar. He states that he has no reason to lie, right? That he's very honest. Ask him all these hard questions. I've heard him say in previous interviews. Then what do you expect is going to happen to the populace around you? We're going to wonder, oh my gosh, why would TBI be giving legal advice? I mean, I would think even if they said that, I would probably take one. I don't know. If I was that concerned about other people's opinions, I don't know. I don't think I would be concerned with people's opinions anyway, but that's just something I wanted to bring up because I know it has really been a focal point of a lot of conversations online and in the area by locals, right? Because there's so much that gets talked about with corruption. We have a lot going on in this part of the country, in America. You had that whole Millersville situation right by Hendersonville. It's about 15-20 minute drive. Then over in Kentucky, you had the judge that was, he lost his life by a sheriff. There's so much going on, right? There's so much. So it just really, to me, just added a different layer to this.
Yeah. So I'll take it to TBI. So that's what they did.
And you did.
Agree, so I would do it. And then when I went and talked to TBI, they said, no, don't recommend you do it. Okay, then that means I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So I'll take it to TBI. So that's what they did.
And you did take one and passed it.
Oh, yes, sir.
See, that's what. See, that's things that people. The last I heard that you offered, and that's why you've been an injustice because that you offered on Nancy Grace. You had time and place, and then when they offered it, that you backed out on it, and you'd never taken one.
See, here's the other part that Nancy Grace has never said either. So her producer, Rachel, at the time, I was in contact with her and told her, I said, look, TBI has advised me not to take y'all's right away, to take theirs first. And if everything is good, then I don't need to take one with y'all. So let me deal with them first because it is their investigation. And she was like, no, I completely understand.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had that conversation with her producer.
No. That's an interesting point too. That Tom was just saying is that if everything's good, right? Well, that's just an interesting thing, right? It adds to different speculations on keywording. Then everybody's going to analyze everything that you say.
And I also had a conversation. I'm gonna mess his name up. I don't know if it's Zappleton or something. She had another producer that she also uses, and I've had a conversation with him, and but none of that has been divulged to the public. None of it. Of course it would. But they're a TV show. They're there for ratings. They're for the money.
Anyway, I'm glad that you took it.
So I have seen your video. I seen the video where y'all drove down from Kentucky down 31. You came down through Kentucky down 31. You turned down McNerney and you went down that way and you came to the back road. So I did watch your video and I watched y'all go through the subdivision, the cul-de-sac, and you started coming.
He's very, very, very focused on the roads in the areas. He knows them very well, right? That's one thing that we can say we're learning from this.
Right down, and he told me, Sheila, you should go over and knock on that door.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
And actually, she could have. So the sign is posted, no trespassers. We were told by law enforcement to put that up because of certain individuals out there that took it upon themselves to walk around our property, videotaping, taking photos without permission. So
that's very interesting.
Put that up, but
that's very interesting because in the beginning, one of the people that they ended up going to court with, and he did a lot of interviews that you'll hear as we go forward in this series, ended up driving around very early on, right? And they were driving around. They showed the Zillow inside and outside of their house. And So that's interesting because he says without permission. And the other thing I want to note is that when I had gone by there, which we regularly had to drive right past that little neighborhood, there was this weird video that was made, right? People were pretending that we were stalking just because we went by and said a prayer, you know, which I thought was very bizarre, very bizarre. But it's interesting that he's saying that the opposite would happen, that they're welcoming as long as you have permission. It's interesting to me.
We've had people come and knock on the door and ask questions and talk to us.
Wow.
As long as people are respectful, we don't. We're not.
Yeah.
We have nothing to hide.
Yeah.
There you
Nothing
go.
to shy away from.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh.
and me and Katie are all on the same page with law enforcement. We just don't want to be a part of the circus.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's
So if you're respectful, okay, so I guess if I don't say anything about him is how I would take it. See, I can't not be biased when I'm giving my opinion on that because hindsight is 20/20. That's really odd. That's really interesting. And I wonder what he would say now if we had a conversation. You know, I wonder what he would say about the circus because that same person that, just had a big fundraiser for his wife's birthday and things, they, have spent months just talking about this other YouTube channel. I mean, it's like a complete, it's beyond a circus, right? It's become unbelievable compared to just discussing Sebastian's disappearance. I wonder what he would say about all this now. I'm sure he must not be happy. I can't imagine with him feeling the way that he does, right?
That's good.
somehow this has gotten away from our son.
Yeah.
And it's turned into this big old circus pointing fingers and like, why? Yeah, so that was Mr. Steve Fischer. He's a private investigator. And he's licensed in 9 states. His credentials are probably some of the best out there. I mean, he has worked with TBI in East Tennessee, working 3 cases. He's worked all over the country.
Sure.
I mean, so why, when he said, look, I might be able to add something I don't know. And I've talked to him. We've had conversations.
I'm sorry about the noise, guys. There's nothing I could do about that crackling sound. That's just the recording that the McCoys had made. And then, of course, I have background music because I'm momming and I have people coming and going in my family, right? It's just how it is. I'm not in my office at the moment.
Conversations offline, just like how we're doing now. And our conversations eventually will lead up to, I wound up meeting with him. And I said, look,
Yeah.
I know you got some questions. And he gave me his questions. I said, well, instead of me explaining, can I show you? He said, sure.
Yeah.
So me and him got in his car. We drove around and I showed him, I said, look, from this angle here, standing here, looking at this, looking at this is where you see this is where I can explain this. And keep in mind that as I explain this to you, that the foliage is out here. Back in February, everything, the trees were naked.
Mm-hmm.
There's no leaves, there's no nuts. So everything that I'm telling you, you're not going to understand and see exactly because there's no leaves, or there's leaves on the trees, so you can't see directly where I'm pointing. Or, we went to the reverse position of where I was saying and looked down, and I said, see the foliage? You can't see where we were standing. But once this is naked, you can see all the way across the street onto the other side of the Long Hollow Pike.
Sure.
And he was like, I didn't think about that.
What did he say?
You can see all the way across the street onto the other side.
No, it didn't say bones.
I said, see the foliage? You
The
can't
foliage.
see where we were standing. But once this is naked, you can see all the way across the street onto the other side of the Long Hollow Pike.
Sure.
Sorry, I love tanning on X was saying something opposite. Thanks for joining, KJ. I hope you have a great trip when you go over there. That sounds really fun.
And he was like, I didn't think about that. And I said, yeah, and it's this, and this. We drove around, we saw the retention pond. I showed him which way the dog went.
Chris, the dog itself, and my brother, he used to be the canine officer for our department. And, a dog is only as good as it's been trained, and a dog is only as good as the handler that knows the indicators. And sometimes dog handlers, like everybody else, wants their 15 minutes of fame. And, I've heard so many stories about the dogs hitting or didn't hit. And that was one of the questions we had, was about the dog, and where the dog hit or did he hit, and so forth like that. But again, when you've got a bunch of police officers, go ahead.
Well, I'll tell you, like that first week, they had ran 13 to 18 different dogs. Our house, around the house, everything. And not all of these dogs were from one group. We had dogs from Sumner County. We had highway patrol dogs. We had professional dog trackers, ones that trained with the FBI, sent out their 2 best canines that they always use.
Yeah.
One of those dogs has, I think it's got like 15 bodies credited to their search.
Oh, that's great. Then. Okay.
Yeah, so they brought out all these dogs, and from all over the country. They came in. Whatever they wanted, like I said, we didn't care. Like, you could have it, didn't care. And they got the scents. Now, out of those number of dogs, at least three of separate dogs went on the same path. And that path was out of our house. If you go out the front door, it went to the left, went down the side of that fence, and it comes back up to the front yard. Then the dog jolts diagonally back left between our neighbor's house through their backyard, goes down to the street, down to the main road, Kellen, when you came in on.
Sure.
Goes all the way to the top of the hill, turns right, goes into the next subdivision over.
So we'll have to note this down. So as we get further in the series, we hear the other times that he's talked about it, right? Because it was more, I think it was like 10 to 12 or 13, like little Redo was saying in different interviews. So that's something to notate. And that can happen, right? When maybe you're just not thinking and you forget specifically. But yeah, I think that's interesting to notate because the dogs have come up quite often, right? How many dogs? Where did the dogs go? Even Gray Hughes did a whole bunch of stuff regarding the dogs and where did they track and trace. We had Canine Jules. She did a lot about, was the dog scent specific? Even Jennifer Kloffendaffer had Canine Jules on. And then what else was there? There was a lot of discussion, different things that were said about the dogs. In fact, I believe, there was even a statement that Ali had made, I believe, with Nick Barris about the dogs and whether they, where they went, where they didn't go.
And it is tracking, and this dog is just running. And it gets to the retention pond and jumps in the retention pond. That was Max.
Yeah.
Now, 3 of these dogs go in that exact same route. I only know of one that jumped in the pond, but 3 dogs went the same route.
Wow.
Did me and Sheila on our way down there that day?
So 3 dogs, he said, went in the same route. And we know, according to the 911 dispatch, the dispatch audio of that day, which when we're done listening to this, I will play that. We're not going to go too long. I'm going to try to keep these to about 2 hours each if possible. And then we're going to continue. Sometimes we're going to have 3 shows a day because there is a lot, because we're going over it all, right? We're doing this as unbiased as we can. But of course, we're going to be putting our opinion in, keywording, things like that, and having open discourse. So I really hope that you guys reach out to me at 411ccn@gmail.com. If you have any interviews that maybe are harder to find, or different things that were in Facebook groups and stuff like that, I will retract names. I don't want to be putting people's names out with how odd this case seems to have gotten. A lot of people, are concerned with, just popping up all over on different random YouTube channels or having entire live streams about them, fictional fairy tales about who they are and things like that. So I just wanted to put that out there. But in the future, we will be going through all these things.
Go.
No. I've got. They just told me he's coming back around. So.
Okay. Sheila, on her way down there, she got her phone and looked up sex offenders in the area. You got a sex offender, registered sex offender within 8 minutes of your address.
There's 5.
Are they 5? It only showed us 1, but 1 is enough to at least let a person know that, anything's possible. And again, everybody.
1 law enforcement went to.
Sorry about that. I hit this by accident. One thing I will say, though, that, like my husband was saying and one of our good friends, one of the things that's interesting is that, considering the fact that they haven't found Sebastian or anything, you would think that it would be never ending. I mean, I would take hundreds of canines if coming all over my property so that they could try to figure out, where did my son go, right? Where did he disappear to? I don't know. I mean, I know they say that the scents don't last, forever, but as a mom, I can't imagine that I would ever, if somebody was willing to do it, I would do it every day, if I could, even if the chance of anything still being there was so beyond slim, I could just imagine the despair that one would have. And I try to take that into consideration, when he discusses these things, that it's got to be a really awful experience, to know that you had these dogs and yet none of them found your son, and in Chris's case, none of them found his stepson, right?
It only showed us 1, but 1 is enough to at least let a person know that, anything's possible. And again, everybody.
1 law enforcement went to all 5 registered sex offenders.
Great. Okay.
All their records, know exactly their exact whereabouts.
That's great.
Everything.
Okay. See, that's things like people. That's what I'm saying. As far as me as an investigator and Sheila both, as far as that, but that's things that people. We mentioned that on the way down. We didn't mention sex offender. We just said there's 1. Oh, I think we said SO because we didn't want to say sex on the YouTube.
Yeah, RSOs.
Yeah.
Or SROs, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And so that's interesting. We just don't think that the finger point in time is now, and definitely with nothing to go on than what people's got. And Sheila and I were just, again, we're YouTubers. Of course, this is our hobby. We enjoy it. Parents don't want to hear that, or step parents, but
no. I will save you the kid gloves, because Katie and I have had these conversations with law enforcement.
Okay.
And it's simple. There's the answers. When all this is said and done, there's only 2 answers that are going to come out of this. 1, Sebastian is going to come home safe and sound, but he's going to have some, he's not going to feel. He's going to need a lot of mental psychologists.
Sure.
That sort of look for. That's what he's going to need. Or 2, Sebastian will be found dead in the woods.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I believe it's the latter. I honestly believe within 2 miles circumference around there. Sheila.
Yeah, that is really hard to hear. I do agree with you about that. I'm also reading your comments, and it is hard. And it is hard when you hear the way that certain things have been stated, especially when you do know the other interviews and things like that. So when you do hear that he would be found deceased, in the woods, that's interesting, right? Because he just disappeared. So how would you know exactly where he is? But that's what's coming to his mind, right? That's what he's discussing right now. We can replay that since I interrupted, but I wanted to address your comments because I do understand and I do agree.
two answers that are going to come out of this. One, Sebastian is going to come home safe and sound, but he's going to have some, he's not going to feel. He's going to need a lot of mental psychologists. Sure. That's the word I look for. That's what he's going to need. Or two, Sebastian will be found dead in the woods.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I believe it's the latter. I honestly believe within 2 miles circumference around there. Sheila thinks around the school. She thinks she was wanting to ask Katie if he had a favorite teacher, was he comfortable going to school, all these questions about school. And Sheila feels that he was headed toward the school for some reason. And
so here's what I can tell you about that. Around the school, so between the high school, elementary, and the middle school, there's 400 cameras.
Wow.
See, I knew there was cameras.
Okay.
I mean, that includes inside, outside. There's 400 cameras. They have pulled the footage from all of those cameras.
Okay.
And nothing was seen on the cameras.
Wow.
They have scoured the football field.
Yeah.
Back behind the football field, there was a field. And of course, I'm native to that area.
Sure.
So I actually went to beach.
That is interesting. I do think there was a laugh. We can go back and listen to that. Now, what I do want to say is that I do agree with KJ. I don't think that the stepdad, just based on my perception of what I've heard him say over the last year and a half, I don't think the man is a liar. I don't think he wants to be a liar. I don't think he wants to mislead or anything. I do think that there is honesty when he says that he has some integrity for wanting to be, truthful. But whatever the guilty knowledge may be or whatever is going on, I don't know, right? Because I don't know him, so I'm not going to say that he's a liar. But it does seem that when he does tell things, that there may be some truth, maybe in the multiple choice, or maybe there's a reason that we have no idea, that there's guilty knowledge. We've heard deception detective go over the guilty knowledge in the beginning of the interviews when they had their first interviews. That was his statement analysis, I think, of the first or second stepdad and mom's interview. And then I know others, we're trying to go over all different angles from all different directions, but I tend to go more with there is obvious guilty knowledge, in my opinion. And I don't think it's hard to see that, right? Sometimes it comes out pretty blatantly. And it does seem that there is a lot of laughing at different points in time, that are interesting, which we're going back to listen to because little Redo and Tom had pointed that out.
School. There's 400 cameras.
Wow.
See, I knew there was cameras.
Okay.
I mean, that includes inside, outside. There's 400 cameras. They have pulled the footage from all of those cameras.
Okay.
And nothing was seen on the cameras.
Wow.
They have scoured the football field.
Yeah.
Back behind the football field, there was a field. And of course, I'm native to that area.
Sure.
So I actually went to Beach Elementary when I was a little kid.
Oh,
wow.
Cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, there's not very much in that area that somebody's like, well, I'm over here. I'm like, I can tell you're over next to so-and-so's house.
Yeah.
Or, if you go up this road right here, and you go dogleg back to the left, it snakes around. And blah, 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 blah. And people are like, how do you know this? Because I'm from here. It's
you probably play.
That's very interesting because I don't know where people's cameras are, and I grew up in a small town as well, and I would never know where the cameras all were, except for the red light cameras because they used to be blatantly obvious. So it's interesting that he does know so much about where all the cameras are and what cameras are or are not working. And I want to just show you something that I learned about from locals down here is they do have different apps and stuff that you can learn about cameras on. And let me just show you really quick. Oh my goodness. Somehow my battery died and it didn't warn me. So just give me 1 second. This is why I really should be just going into the office when I'm doing any content, because this happens. It's a different laptop that I'm familiar with. So I had no idea that it was at the end of the battery life, but it's okay. We're coming back into the studio now, and then I can show you this app that I was talking about. I appreciate you all bearing with me, because it's a very interesting app, and it does highlight, what cameras are and are not working at different points in time. Just one moment. Right, I think I'm back in here. I don't know if you can hear me or not. And let's take the other one out of here. Right, let me know if you can hear me okay in the chat. I'm so sorry about that. I am a little tired today, and I didn't even think to check the battery life. So this is called Smart Way of Tennessee. It's a traffic app, and it's called ththe. And it does actually show you a lot of stuff, and including the traffic cameras. So it says on the traffic map, you will notice several icons. So you'll have this major impact icon, incidents, construction, special events, rest areas, traffic conditions, road conditions, ways, traffic cameras, and message signs. So there's 475 cameras across the state with real-time live video of traffic. See? We'll just look at the traffic part of it.
Ready for a fun day out?
To work and home faster. We have a new redesigned web application, which for the first time ever includes real-time live streaming video of traffic on the road. So that means when you are stuck here, you can know before you go. Before you hop in your car and start driving, just pull up the ththe Smartway traffic website on your smartphone. You'll be able to see 470 live traffic cameras from any of the 4 major metropolitan areas in Tennessee. Or you can always have a passenger help you once you've started your trip. Please do not text and drive. Once you get to Smartway, there are 2 main menus. The location menu allows you to pull up a statewide map or designate your specific.
Isn't that interesting? So there is a lot of information regarding cameras and whether or not you would know those cameras are functioning and how long they were or were not at any given point in time. And it seems like Chris really knows all about the cameras. And that just leads more to the speculation on why there's just no way that there's not some sort of information on where the Sebastian went, right? And it keeps
Will be found
Sebastian
dead in the woods.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I believe,
at the forefront of our minds, that so many people want answers to find this young man or to bring justice to whoever might have had anything to do with foul play, if that was the case, right? And a lot of it is because you just don't disappear, especially with an area that is peppered with such technology, right?
I believe it's the latter. I honestly believe within 2. And if you'll just get in the line, and that way when you go through an area.
I actually feel he got to.
Do you have?
Calm down.
Something else. He's in a vehicle. There's somebody, something's more to it. But for him just to be gone and no vehicle going down the road, nothing like that. It's
Yeah, Sebastian, just.
I'm afraid we're gonna mess him up.
Yeah, I don't want
No, you're fine.
Okay, don't let us mess you up there. I know you're busy. Yeah, maybe later on, if you and Katie get a chance, you sit down and talk. Like I said, if you decide to talk to us or something, we'd love to do I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I'm about like you. We're straightforward. We'd love to do a video.
Yeah, I mean, we all try to do what we can, and we try to answer all the questions. And everybody wants to come up with some crazy stuff, but it comes to what could have happened, what may have happened.
Yeah.
What
Oh, Sheila, you ask them.
Sir,
Yes, ma'am.
what do you all think happened to little Sebastian? Do you have?
I'm down to I'm only down to 2 scenarios here.
Okay.
And what I feel probably the most reasonable in my head that makes sense. So the first one is very simple.
Okay.
Sebastian got up, walked out of the house, walked out in the woods. He's out there somewhere, and we can't find him.
Okay.
That's the simple one.
That's
right.
Sometimes simple is the way it is, but go ahead.
Yes, I know I'm going to cut in to say that I do agree with you, Tom, that you do have to take into consideration that this was October of 2024. So it was months and months after Sebastian had disappeared. And it did take a long time for him to say what he thought happened. His answer of the question you would think would be rather quickly after all this time of thinking and thinking and thinking, right? So it does seem like he's coming up with what he thinks people may believe, the 2 things left that people may believe happened. I can see where you're speculating on that, yes. Sorry, I butted in at the worst time again.
He's out there somewhere, and we can't find him.
Okay.
That's the simple one.
That's
right.
Sometimes simple is the way it is, but go ahead.
Now the second one, Sebastian walked out of the house. Either it was planned or he was lured out of the house, or something triggered him to leave out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And walked out of the house. I personally feel he got to Long Hole Pike, and he got picked up in a car, and they headed westbound on Long Hole Pike.
Wow.
And westbound goes to I-65. Now, there's a license plate reader on Long Hole Pike that goes, if you're traveling eastward, so if you're coming from Goodlettsville going toward Gallatin down Long Hole Pike, there's a license plate reader right there. And 76 cars from the hours of midnight to 6 a.m. were registered on that LPR.
Okay. Wow.
So all of those cars have been accounted for. Now, what has not been accounted for is if you were traveling westbound, so if you were going from Gallatin to Goodlettsville, the one camera that could have picked anything up was not working.
Oops. Sorry, guys. I messed this up. What just happened? One moment.
Will be found dead, in the woods. Sure.
Yeah.
I believe it's the latter. I honestly, he had it rough for God led us.
We used to have snakes, and he was all about it.
Wow.
And westbound goes to...
Right.
Sometimes simple is the way it is, but go ahead.
Now the second one, Sebastian walked out of the house. Either it was planned or he was lured out of the house, or something triggered him to leave out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And walked out of the house. I personally feel He got to Long Hole Pike, and he got picked up in a car, and they headed westbound on Long Hole Pike.
Wow.
And westbound goes to I-65. Now, there's a license plate reader on Long Hole Pike that goes, if you're traveling eastward, so if you're coming from Goodlettsville going toward Gallatin down Long Hole Pike, there's a license plate reader right there. And 76 cars from the hours of midnight to 6 a.m. were registered on that LPR.
Okay. Wow.
So all of those cars have been accounted for. Now, what has not been accounted for is if you were...
That's interesting that he says that all the cars have been accounted for. How could 76 cars be thoroughly, unequivocally accounted for if you don't know where your son is? Because we know he doesn't fly, we know he doesn't vanish. So I just think it's interesting, right? It's just interesting if that's the theory that a lot of them had, is that he just disappeared. Because we know he's not in the woods around there, in my humble opinion. I think that's pretty blatantly obvious with the ground searching, the hunting, everything that's ensued. And so I find that interesting that he knows that there were 76 cars and they were accounted for. I wonder if they've been more looked into now, because hindsight is 20/20, or what now would he say about that? I just find that interesting.
Traveling westbound, so if you were going from Gallatin to Goodlettsville, the one camera that could have picked anything up was not working. Hadn't been working for 3 years. And that's at Long Hole Pike and New Shackle, right there at the corner by the school.
Wow.
It hasn't worked for 3 years now. Whether or not they're going to work it out, I don't know. But it hadn't worked for 3 years. So anybody going, like I said, westbound down Long Hole Pike could have picked up Sebastian, picked him in a car, hauled butt down to I-65, and you'd have never known.
That was our second. This morning we were talking. We've been on it all day again, but and we talked of our first one. Of course, he wandered off. The second one is we talked about a sex offender or somebody, just a crime of opportunity.
Yeah, see, I mean that's all I have to go on. I mean, you know, all of Sebastian's shoes are accounted for. So this is what's going to kind of throw you off a little bit. Sebastian, you know, all of his shoes are at the house.
Right.
All of my shoes are accounted for. All of Kitty's shoes are accounted for. So Sebastian walking out in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
I struggle with that one because Sebastian was not a tomboy.
Yeah.
He really wasn't.
I mean,
I know this is going to sound crazy, but a fly...
Sebastian's a boy, so a tomboy is referencing a girl, so that right there is kind of belittling Sebastian right in this interview, right? And looking down upon him not being boy enough. That's, you know...
spiders.
Ooh.
Even like a Charlotte spider, you know. Sebastian freaks out. That's not him. Yeah. Now, granted, we used to have snakes, and he was all about the ball pythons. He was all about that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
But insects, no.
No. God love his heart. God love his heart.
He was not a kid that liked to get out there in the dirt and play with cars and trucks and Tonka toys like we all used to do as kids, back when kids could be kids, you know?
So he didn't go out into...
That's not Sebastian.
So he didn't like to go hiking or nothing like that then?
He liked hiking, but it wasn't like as we all used to do as kids, where we just walk off in the woods and we just didn't care and walk our way back home. No, we used to go hiking when we lived in California down trails and stuff. I mean, all that stuff has been marked.
Right.
And they're well known and stuff like that. And that stuff, yes. But not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, bless his heart.
Well, listen, buddy, we appreciate you calling us.
Thank you so much.
That's if it don't never go no farther than this, we've enjoyed at least and you haven't told us nothing that we didn't figure. Yeah. I mean, you're exactly what I figured you would be like.
No, I got nothing to hide. I mean, me and Katie, and this is going to sound very off, but me and Katie are kidless.
Yeah.
You know, my daughter lives in New Mexico with my ex-wife, and Sebastian lived with us.
Yeah.
And we don't have either one of our kids. Well, I mean, we're guilty because we're not a Hallmark drama ETV story.
Yeah.
You know, Katie's not out there dropping to her knees in the middle of the yard, screaming and crying, and I'm not out there just ripping everybody's heads off and that's not me.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, I have that side.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we all do. And I think
But see, that's the thing. That's what happens when you lose a piece of you as a parent. When you lose something that you love more than life itself, you're not yourself. You lose yourself and you're searching desperately to find yourself. That's what it appears that parents go through when they lose a child. When a child's missing, when they lose a child to an illness, to an accident, they're missing a part of them. And that's how come so many people have a very hard time relating when the stepdad has spoken about these types of things, because it's unrealistic to act like there's something positive of not dropping and collapsing and sobbing and begging and pleading and searching and being as desperate and frantic in a basket case as possible, because it's a natural reaction when something you love has been taken from you. And time and time again, when he talks about his stepson, it comes across that there's not much that he loved at all, right? It's like a put down over and over repeatedly, because there's nothing crazy about having phobias. There's nothing crazy about not liking some of the bugs that we get down here and wanting to be dirty with the weird sand-like clay that we have. And I mean, it's just really telling, and it does fuel all of the speculation that surrounds Sebastian's disappearance. And while it has done a job on keeping Sebastian's name out there, it's not doing very much in finding Sebastian, right? It's really not, because it doesn't seem to be leading us to any answers other than speculating upon why does he talk this way? And why isn't the mom out there more of a lifetime, real life depiction, dropping down and crying and begging and pleading, you know?
What's
the time?
Yeah. And buddy, we're
praying for you.
Yeah, we're praying for you, that's for sure. And we feel for you, feel for both of you, and just wish you the best. And if we can ever do anything, we're a phone call
Well,
away.
on a funny note, you know, Katie didn't understand when somebody brought it up to us that y'all were looking.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, well, the Hatfields and McCoys are involved now. And I said, in what capacity?
Yeah.
Because I said, there could be a good thing, there could be a bad thing. It just kind of depends.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I said, do you not know the history of the Hatfield and the McCoys?
That's interesting that he would say that any of that would be funny, because it's not really funny, right? I mean, I don't know. That's wow. Anyway, if you go to the McCoys channel, you can learn all about the history. You'll get a brief little clip here from them, but
And she goes, no. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So that's probably one of the longest running family feuds in the entire history of the world.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm both.
And she was like, what? I said, oh, it's a deadly feud.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not a well,
Yeah.
you called me a name and I'm gonna call it. No, people were killed between the
Yes.
Hatfields and McCoys. And this was back in Prohibition days, and she was like, huh? I said, yeah. Bless your heart, you don't know the history. She's like, no.
Yeah.
She's, but I know they got a museum in Gatlinburg. I said,
My great grandmother was Nancy Hatfield. My great grandfather was Asa McCoy.
Well, KJ, that's what a lot of people had speculated, right? That I've encountered, that they speculated that this is like a show. It's like a Hollywood production that was planned, and that they believe that, you know, the parents are all aware and that maybe something's gone awry. And, you know, Sebastian is where. Nobody knows where. And what added to that is the $50,000 reward by the FBI. That just added an extra layer of, you know, what exactly is going on. And then on top of that, like Michelle said, it seemed that there was some sort of like a smoke screen, you know, in front of the camera, so to speak, right? And there's just a lot of stuff that leads it to looking as if they were making some sort of production out of a child's disappearance, because you can't fathom this level of, you know, disassociative behavior that you really don't have, you know, any kind of love, compassion, empathy, nothing. It's just really lacking in a lot of these conversations, like across the board, you know, and it's really interesting. All of this is really interesting.
I'm actually both. And that's where we were born and raised. That Sheila and I.
Okay.
I'm actually.
Preacher Ants was your great
We're related. I mean, I'm right down the line with DNA and all. That's another thing that gets me with y'all's. You know, but these people to this day have never taken a DNA, but they claim to be. Well, if you are, and what we done over there, I was hard. I'd seen God solve that. God
showed us where to go.
God led us to those birds, and then Sheila's nose to that. I don't know if you've seen that video or not. It's on our YouTube. Well, we've actually found the body while we're live streaming, and that was God, and it just changed my whole life. Now the next thing we hear is look for Sebastian Rogers. We'd never heard of Sebastian. At first we kept just pushing it aside because we're not. That was God. That wasn't us. We didn't do nothing special. And but then after a while we got up one morning, and that's the day we come down there. Sheila said, what are we gonna do today, or something like that? And I said, you wanna drive down to Henderson? We done said we wasn't going to go. And we ended up in Hendersonville. We ended up going up that graveyard, and we ended up just trying to see if God leads us here, leads us there. And none of us, you know, God's got a plan in life no matter what it is. We're not going to change what his plan is, but at least we can go where we think we need to be and do what we can. Maybe the cops know something that they're not telling everybody. I don't know, but it certainly isn't in nothing that Sheila and I have seen.
Well, I'm sure that there is investigating tactics that have been deployed since very early on, just because, like Chris keeps saying, you know, there's nothing. Well, that's not possible. So I don't believe for 1 second that you have all of these different people that came to search for this precious young boy that would just say, okay, well, he disappeared and there's not a trace of him, and a dog jumped in a pond and the cameras didn't catch anything and blah, blah, blah. No way. No, I am sure that it may take years and it may take weeks or it may take hours, but we're going to have answers at some point in time. I don't think there's any way around that. Thank God. Because I do believe that the Lord does mighty things, and I do agree with Mr. McCoy that there's some times in life that the Lord does really show himself to us, and that makes us, you know, pretty strong in our beliefs, not to Bible thump on you all. And, you know, I respect everybody's right to their own spirituality and their own, you know, relationships, but I do agree that, you know, God has a mysterious way of working things all out in time. Not always, but there is something with Sebastian's case that's profoundly different, And it's not just the behavior and the circus and everything that's transpired, but I think that there's just sometimes that the Lord steps in when there's just such evil that's everywhere. And I don't say that directed towards the parents. I say in general that when you look into this case, this young man, the sweet young boy, and all of these other children, they're just completely used as a money-making circus, to quote the agents that gave us that presser in April of 2024. And it truly just nauseates you, right? It's infuriating, it's gut-wrenching, it's heartbreaking, it's disturbing, but it is profoundly, blatantly obvious that there's so many people that could care less if they ruin a crime scene, they obstruct justice, they mislead. I wouldn't doubt that people would go as far as planning children's disappearances or finding a deceased person and just not even letting them know. Some people, I think, would go to unbelievable lengths for money and to keep their 15 minutes of fame in a generalized sense. So sometimes I do think that the Lord will intervene, and I think in Sebastian, in his case right now, that while it may feel like there is nothing because it's 18 months, that there will be something, because he has been a part of so many different people's conversations. He's had so many shows done. He's had different celebrities and musicians, look in and inquire, that I do not think that Sebastian is going to end up just disappearing and not having some sort of answers to where he went or what had happened. That's just my belief.
And we got on there the other night, and we put it out there and said, hey, we'd like to talk to the parents. There's two sides to every story. There's three sides. This, you got Seth, you got you and Katie, and then you've got what really happened to Sebastian. So,
see, the problem with a lot of people out there doing this is they let that alligator mouth overload their little tadpole behinds.
Well, that's true.
And my question to everybody is when you eat crow, do you prefer mustard or just straight?
Yeah.
Because when the truth comes out,
and that's what
wrong.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait to hear the apologies. Now, will we ever get them? Probably.
If you ever,
I can't imagine caring. What would you care what anybody says or does or thinks? Who cares? You think that people would apologize when you are presenting something in a way that makes it look like you could have been involved in doing something with a child's disappearance, but you're framing all of these things in that manner. You're making it look bad, right? We've had all kinds of other interviews that we're going to go through in this series that talk about, hitting with belts, incontinence, tomboy, all kinds of things, insinuations about, not being allowed around stepsisters. And I mean, you can't honestly think that it's not going to cause speculation, and then you want to think that people are going to eat crow for what they have been given to speculate upon when there's a young boy that has not been found. I mean, it's just astounding to me to listen sometimes. I just don't understand.
I'll talk, and if you ever want, we're here. We will do anything we can for you. We've got some questions. I don't care to let Sheila take a snapshot of them and send them to you. You can see our questions, and you know what?
I mean, we can't even go to church without being photographed.
Yeah.
That's sad.
That was one of our questions. Do you all go to church?
Yeah. Yes, sir. We try to go when we can.
It's free.
The problem is, even at our church, that
people.
You would think that people are supposed to be there for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they might be, but they still need to do a lot of digging and a lot of searching to find the goodness.
Yeah.
Because people go online as soon as church is over. They were at church today. How dare they show their face? How dare you?
Yeah.
And what gives you the right to say that you know, I can't be at church. What gives you the right to say that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I rested.
Because we all have a voice and we all have a mouth. And he's so offended by people saying anything. That is unbelievable, because you would think that if somebody gets that offended by it, then they would have a really hard time lying or misleading, that they would want to put an end to it all and clear their name, right? And get their 10 minutes of eating crow, so to speak. Because, I mean, I don't think a lot of people really care one bit about the stepdad or the mom or even the dad, other than where's Sebastian, praying for him and a safe return. And it just seems like over and over, it's like all they care about is what people think of them. Who cares what anybody thinks? It's like a broken record I am with that, but it's just triggering because it doesn't make sense to me. Yes, they did. With the dogs over by the pond, they had driven over to that area when they let the dogs out. Oh, I know. All that is going to be in a lot of the future ones, because we're starting back at the beginning of the series of this. And we'll learn about all of that stuff as they talk about it.
The guy's son one night for DUI. We went to the same church for years, and I thought he loved us, made over. It's like, I was the chief of police and went to church that next Sunday, that morning, Saturday night. I arrested his son and come in there and reach out to shake hands like we'd done for years, and turned his back on me. And I thought, wow. And me, no way I would lie or fib or anything on his son. He knew his son was guilty, but it was like, I may have kept his son from getting killed or killing somebody that night, drunk. But that was the last time that I was in that church. It was just, it really broke my heart. But so I don't know. Buddy, it says a personal relationship. We're to have a personal, you're sitting there in that loader. You can sit there and talk to the good Lord and have as good as you can in any church. So just don't let that get you down.
Well, we've started doing this. Actually, so a gentleman from I think it was North or South Carolina, he reached out to me, and he's a pastor, and we talked via through messages, Facebook Messenger. He's got us doing this grievance course.
Oh wow!
So he's got a workbook and a journal, and there's videos, and we're fixing to start getting into this grievance course.
Sure.
And
I can't imagine doing any kind of a grievance course when it's only been not even a year, right? This was October of 2024, so you have March, April, May, June, July, August, 8 months. Why would you be in a grievance course? What are you grieving? You would be in a course on how to continue to live while you're searching for your child, because you're not gonna. Aren't you gonna? I mean, why would you ever think that he's not with us? You have nothing about him not being here. So that is another big red flag that makes people speculate, right? Is the different vocabulary that's used, right? The different things that are said about grieving, and that leads one to think that he's deceased in a lot of these interviews.
I told Kay, I said, maybe we should do this. I said, regardless of the outcome.
Yeah.
I said, we're always grieving.
Yeah.
Regardless of the outcome, we're always grieving. So I feel like that just adds to the layer of people saying that there's guilty knowledge, that he has guilty knowledge that Katie needs to go through a grievance course. So maybe Katie doesn't realize, I don't know. But the thing is that no, you're not always grieving, and they're completely unable to help somebody that has a missing child and doesn't have any answers. I've never heard of any kind of grievance counseling that is suitable for this type of situation. That's just me. I've never heard of that. Now, maybe there is the best of intentions there, and he's just using the wrong language. I don't know. But I'm just highlighting a lot of why this speculation comes into play because of this type of stuff. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a good thing.
Maybe this just might be a way to ease it Maybe. I don't know. I said, but we got to try something.
Yeah. Sheila lost her father 2 months ago, and a month later, she lost her only sister. And then a couple weeks later, we find that body over there, and so she had it rough for. So yeah, that can't hurt. Anything like that's got to be. Try to stay on the straight and narrow, and think positive. Pray, and that's all you can do in something like this. I wouldn't want to be where you're at. I know that.
Bless your heart.
But this is my cell phone number. You can call me, text me, whatever. A lot of times if I don't answer, I'll send a text message back or whatever.
We'll try not to bother you.
No, you're fine. Trust me.
Yeah.
You are fine.
Well, we've enjoyed we definitely enjoy our conversation. We was coming back this yesterday, and we got to we went over and covered. I don't know if you've seen that lady that killed her mother and then cut her arms and legs off and her head and put her in the oven and all that. Have you seen that in Kentucky?
Yeah.
We covered that, and on our way back, we our Hummer broke down. Our number 3 plug or something, coil or something went out, so it's in the shop. And because we were coming back down there just to look around and just to
look near the manholes, to see about that.
See, all that stuff has changed so much since. Hey, Chris, would there be any bears out in February? Would that be too early for bear, or do y'all have a bear population there?
So there's been one sighting of a bear. One.
And that's kind of interesting because there are bears all over the place. Michelle, yes, I do. I had heard about that, and you're right. It is behavioral issues that those are that's the common denominator within those types of schools, right? And that's something that no one really discusses, that he really had any. It's just one of those things that Seth, the dad, had said that he didn't experience the same types of circumstances, right? When he had Sebastian, he didn't see those same behaviors that he had when he was back with his stepdad and Katie, his mom. So it's hard to discern in that what's true about the behavioral parts, right? Did he not? But at the end of the day, I guess for me, I don't really talk about it much. It's just because I don't think it really matters to his disappearance, right? Because if anything, it would just be something that I think somebody would say as a defense. Like if something happened to him, if somebody did something to him, then they would want to raise the behavioral issues as a reason that maybe, well, he had these behavioral issues and therefore, yada, yada, yada happened. But yeah, I always wondered about how come that's something that gets discussed at times, right? Because it really doesn't have anything to do with him just vanishing if they're saying he just took off and walked out a front door, right? Oh yeah, that's true, Michelle, definitely.
And we don't have bears normally in our area. If we do, it's very, very rare.
Okay.
We've got more coyotes, deer, foxes, small stuff. Most of the bears can be out east.
Okay. That was our question.
Yeah.
Don't take this the wrong way, but if I'm walking through the woods, I'm not going without having a gun.
Sure.
What if something does come upon something?
We do too. Yeah, we're the same way. So.
Like I said, when we're out searching, we've got that PI, Steve Fischer. He's with us. We got a couple of locals who we trust. They go out looking with us, and like I said, most of us all have drones.
Sure.
So, and we all try to utilize whatever sources we got to do whatever searching we can.
Well, listen, we're going to let you get off here, and it's been great talking to you. You know what we'd like to do, so if you and Katie ever decide, you give us a call or a text, and we're at your convenience.
Anytime you need to, sir, like I said, reach out. And I'll be talking to Katie here in a little while, probably when I get off work. way, she'll let me know, and we'll discuss it. And she'll
Yes,
probably
sir.
be up for it.
Sure. She'll love Sheila.
We're praying for you all, so
You tell her that Sheila's got her in her prayers, both of you.
I haven't stopped praying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We need all the ones we can get.
That's right. That's right. Well, Chris, you be safe out there on that equipment, buddy, and good talking to you.
Likewise, sir. Thank you so much.
Bye, and call me Fred, Chris. Ain't no sir. It's Fred,
I'm
pal.
gonna call you sir.
You take it easy, buddy.
You too, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. What'd you think, guys? What'd you think?
Very interesting.
That was Chris.
To say the least.
Proudfoot.
Proudfoot. Help me out, babe.
Yeah.
I know all kinds of people that's got similar names,
And it's-
Sebastian and Jaden and
Yeah.
Chris, and I know other people
Right.
in life,
Right.
and they've got different. And I put that last name of theirs
With a different
instead of his.
first name.
Yeah, I'm all messed up.
Okay.
Chris said he would check with Katie about the interview.
Yeah, he said he was open to it, but he would run it by her to see what she
That's right.
thought or would do.
That's right.
Wanted to do.
Later, Katie declined. Crickets. Now, right now, Chris is watching this video and he's thinking, she never declined. I never got back with you. Crickets. Actually, didn't respond back at all.
We didn't hear anything.
But by not responding back, we knew Katie had declined. Now, Katie is in that video there, the first video that says, we want to keep Sebastian in the news. We want to keep him out there. We offered. We're 3 hours away, 4 hours away. Gas that we could use for something else. Time that we could spend fishing or on the lake. We offered to give our time, our gas, didn't want it. Said in that news interview, I feel you, baby. I don't want to get. Well, guys, listen. I'm a little bit frustrated, punk.
I understand
Now, listen.
that.
When you say something, watch what you say because people may call you out on it. When you get on TV and you say we want all the attention we can get, then you file suits or you're offered to be on. I don't care if it's a YouTube channel. I don't care if it's Mickey Mouse TV. Everything that you can get for that child and any kind of attention at that time is worth something.
Yeah.
Maybe that one person that took him or that he's with or picked him up on the side of the road or that did something with him. Maybe somebody's conscience will start working on them.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, that's what I've always been dumbfounded by and flabbergasted is that you would think you'd want to utilize all of us, all of us. I would have put a new banner up for him when I drove by and saw those crooked banners, and instead, driving by and saying a prayer, you get a slew of people pretending you're a stalker. I mean, it's just really heartbreaking. This whole thing has just been absolutely heartbreaking because there is a big elephant in the room that's not so secret, and that is when you're discussing Sebastian, you get a slew of pressure to not discuss Sebastian, right? It's pretty blatantly obvious. And I can't disagree. It's heartbreaking because you would think that that you want everybody and anybody because you never know that one person that may come across somebody that has information that could lead to bringing justice for Sebastian or could be what you need to bring Sebastian home or to lay him to rest, whatever the case is. And I cannot understand not wanting that to happen. And that's what happens in these interviews as we will continue to go through and listen. It's really heartbreaking because they ask for the help, they ask for the awareness, and they say they don't care what anybody says. They just want to find their son, right? And so I can't agree more with what, Sheila and Fred are saying.
The more they actually see him in the news, if somebody did have anything to do with it, maybe the more they see him on YouTube and on the news, it starts working on people's conscience.
Yeah. It's very
So,
possible.
I don't mean to be mean calling people out, but
Yeah.
we offered. we asked. Sheila said he said
He said he would
open to it.
Yeah, I'm open to it. He said, but he was going to have, he's going to ask her to see what she wanted.
Never got back with us. We're going to post the text messages. Post that one right here again. Post where I text them again. But see, I didn't keep texting.
Right.
I didn't keep texting because I didn't want to be sued.
Right.
Didn't want to be sued. Guys, I'll tell you something about Sheila and I. We ain't got a pot to pee in or a window to throw it out. So, and we've got. Okay. If I did one thing in my career, it was make friends with a bunch of attorneys after I've been a police officer for 40 years. So I do have a few friends that I think would represent us. But by the time you sued us and got financial statements, you'd probably feel sorry and give to us.
Probably.
Sent message to them. We sent text messages to them, and Sheila will post them here again. Why? We thought she wanted attention in Sebastian's case. That's what she said in her news interview.
And what better way than social media?
Thank you, baby. That's exactly right. Exactly. We've got 25,000 subscribers, or that's what we had at that time.
At that very time. We don't want to mislead them.
But we were receiving hundreds of thousands of views on some of our videos. One video we had
it went viral.
Went viral.
Yeah.
One of our videos, at least one, went viral.
People were sharing it and everything else. And I had people call me up and say, you're viral. And I was like,
and people's calling up and asking, can we use your video? Can we share this? Guys, you can do anything you want. Sheila and I don't do this for YouTube. We barely make enough on YouTube to pay our gas. We don't pay our gas if we go to a lot of things or do a lot of things.
Trips, yeah.
Now imagine the subscribers and other YouTubers and the views that they had or could have gotten by sharing our video or doing a video often of it, just as we do with theirs. Imagine some of these people.
JLR investigates hillbilly crime, Law and Crime Network, and Hidden True Crime.
And
that's just a few.
Yeah, there's several more, but imagine, and I don't know if Duty Ron's another one, but these people have thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Imagine all of them sharing our videos or us sharing theirs when they do it.
With their viewers, yeah.
Why would you rather hang posters or talk to the news about hanging posters when there's platforms with hundreds of thousands of viewers who are longing to interview you?
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, look at Laura Lodge, and we could just go on and on and on and on, right, about it. It doesn't make sense when you're looking for your stepson. And that's why so many speculate that this is just like a defense attorney's suggestive strategy to try to, tamper a jury pool or raise enough funds. I don't know. It's just a very odd thing that you can't make sense out of a lot of times. And I can't disagree with their sentiment because I share the same sentiments exactly. Sorry, my brain is getting a little mushy. It's getting tired.
We were longing. We wanted to talk.
To help solve the mystery of Sebastian. It wasn't just for the content or the clicks, whatever. We were trying to honestly help.
Not everybody's out there for the clicks. Now, once again, some guy said the other day about, they're just wanting clicks. True. I would hate to think that we make videos and nobody would watch them. We hope people watch them. But
we were trying to help.
We wanted to help. We wanted to keep the word out there, keep it going. And we wanted to talk, and it's going to come up here in a minute, so I won't get ahead of myself. But let us clarify. When we talked to Chris on the phone, we were extremely nice, as was he.
Yes. And you heard that.
You've heard that by now.
Yeah.
We were nice. Yeah. And a lot of it's been cut out because some of it I talked. I was talking about finding Joseph Couch's body. I was criticizing another police agency. Not another police agency, the Kentucky State Police. I don't want to throw it at nobody else. Let's leave it. That's all I'll say. But so some of that we cut out because Sheila doesn't like me to sore spot with me. But said he had no problem talking with us, but he would run it by Katie. Katie must have refused. And why would be the question.
Right.
Because he never called us back. He never texted us back when I text.
Yeah.
He no more contact. Of course, he's filing suits against people, so I didn't want to harass him.
Exactly.
No need to get I don't care to get sued, guys. If you get sued, think about getting sued in life. You file a countersuit. The first thing you do, if you're ever sued by anybody, file a countersuit so that way you can depose that person in depositions. First thing you want to do is have depositions.
Okay.
You want to depose that person and ask some questions. Wouldn't it be great to have Katie and Chris under oath asking questions that pertain to Sebastian? That's what we wanted to do in our interview. We were nice, but we were wanting Chris to invite us down and say, yeah, guys, come on down. Katie said, sure, come down. Because, see, we feel we could be wrong, and this is our opinion. This is assumption. But we feel if a person really, really, really was missing a child and wanted attention for that child and wanted to find that child and had nothing to hide, they would say, yeah, guys, come on down. We appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. I'll answer any question you got, because Sheila and I had some questions. We've got some questions.
Yeah.
What do we want to do more than anything, babe?
We want to find Sebastian. We want to bring him home, and we want to look at their faces, their actions, their how they remark to everything that we said.
We want to look at them. Are they possible suspects? Of course they are. They know they are.
Yeah.
We talk about it on the phone.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I think for a lot of people, including myself, it's not that you want to look at them to be critical and to be like, you did something. You want to look at them so you know that they are not involved, so that you can be helpful, so you can do something to help them, because you can only imagine what it's like to be in their shoes, right? You can't imagine it. And it's not something any of us want to experience. And I know a lot of you have had that horrible, gut-wrenching, unbelievable part of your heart that's missing because you've lost a child. So for me anyway, I can only speak for myself. I just want to be able to search for things that might be able to help, not hurt. I don't want to be sitting there saying, oh, these people did something to this child, or no. You want to be able to help them. You want to be able to find all the reasons that, look, they didn't do anything, but this might help, or that might help, or, it's just so hard. It's just so hard to find anything positive to say about a lot of it now, right? It's really difficult. It's really difficult.
Always the number one suspect. Why is that? Because the parents
are usually the last ones to see him.
Are usually not only the last one to see him, but they're the perpetrator.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like in cases where, I don't know. Never mind.
No, you're all right. No, they like hearing from you, baby.
Yeah.
There's some people that thinking like you. I'm a police officer, or I was. You're not. Tell them your thoughts.
Well, I was just saying why the parents would probably be the suspect, just because the child lives with the parents. And like I said, that would be more than likely, if they disappeared from the home like that, then that would be the reason why.
That's a great point, because there's some people out there thinking like that.
Yeah.
As a former police officer, I'm thinking, I want to look at the parents and question them, because a lot of times the parents are the bad guys. A lot of the times the parents, unfortunately, but that's true. But see, Sheila's got such a good heart, and that's the yin and yang. That's what we do. Sheila would want to talk to them and say, how was Sebastian? How did he do? And Sheila, we've got people and know people, and she's worked with children about
autism. His favorite colors, and
that's Sheila.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I would be asking other questions. But both of us, we look at people, we watch people.
Yeah.
That's what you do as an investigator. And Sheila is a great investigator. And Sheila's a big helper, because Sheila looks at things from another point of view than what me and another police officer would be doing after years and years of experience.
Or whatever you want to call us.
Just a regular civilian person that doesn't go around investigating a lot, or not in police anyway.
That's for sure.
Sheila and I wasn't going to go in there and be accusatory.
No.
We wasn't going to go in there and say, okay, guys, we got you in front of the camera now. We think you did this or that, or that wasn't our plan.
Shine a light in their face.
Yeah. We're not going to do that.
No.
We wanted to simply ask them questions that they had probably already been asked. But Sheila and I have a special friend with us, a special investigator that tells us things and helps. We feel that way in our hearts. Hopefully there's no non-believers out there, but We feel things, we see things. Don't ask us why, and we don't do it. We're not fortune tellers, guys. We don't believe in ghosts. We don't believe in spirits, except for the Holy Ghost and God's Spirit, the Holy Spirit. That's what we believe in. Now we'll go on.
Yeah.
But we wasn't going there and just accusing them.
No.
We were just wanting to talk to them and ask them questions. We might even ask questions that nobody have asked.
Nobody else has thought of. Yeah.
We may have asked questions that somebody else may have been afraid of hurting their feelings by asking. The thing is, if you're telling the truth, you've got nothing to hide, and you're really missing your son and your stepson, you're looking for him, you shouldn't get upset at people for asking those questions, because if we're thinking them, then that means that some of you guys are probably thinking them. We're not geniuses. So if we've thought of these questions, no doubt.
Right.
We read the comments.
Yeah.
We see what people say and write on cases on our pages. And you guys are some smart people.
I agree. Man, y'all are awesome.
We simply wanted to ask them questions. Of course,
we wanted to watch their face and their body language.
We wanted to watch their faces and their body language. We wanted to talk to them about God. We wanted to talk to them at the end, and we'll probably still do that. Only this time, instead of in person, it's going to be on this tape. Now, Chris said he watched our tapes because you're going to hear him talk about the Hatfields and the McCoys.
And he
laughing. Talks about Sheila while we were there searching the neighborhood. Go ahead, babe.
There was a no trespassing sign in their yard. And Fred slows down. He said, Sheila, go for a knock on the door. I was like, no, I don't want to get arrested. And Mr. Proudfoot was laughing about that because he said he thought it was funny that you tried to get me to go knock on the door.
So he watched our videos, and he's going to watch this video. Him and Katie both are going to watch this video. And our invite is still out there. We would love to talk to them. We would love to interview them. We'll be fair and honest with them. If there's nothing to hide, why not talk to us? Of course, I know it's stressful being asked questions. Of course, I know we would never falsely accuse somebody. We won't accuse you at all. I mean, that's up to you and the police and the good Lord and people like that. We're nobody.
Oh, exactly. None of us are ever accusatory. We're only talking and going based off of what we're being presented, right? Everybody's innocent until proven guilty. I've always said I just feel that sometimes there's guilty knowledge of some sort. That's pretty blatantly obvious to me, in my opinion. And but I agree with what they're saying, and I think that, there's a lot of these interviews that we have to go over, right? And I'm going to do the next one before we wrap up. This is the second one of the night, and like I said, we've gone back to October of 2024. And if you go to the beginning of the live, I kind of discussed this series that we're going to be doing. I'll still have other content in between, but this is just a series that's exclusively going to be about Sebastian Rogers' case revisited from start to finish. And we're doing it unbiased as possible, but we do have to talk about the how we feel and why people are the way that they are with their different speculations, right? Trying to understand what is giving people these opinions. And if people feel that they're being accused, and that's between them and God, and maybe they need to sit down and try to figure out what it is that, is happening that's making it come across the way that it's coming across, right? Inconsistencies and, things like that. But no, we're just regular people. And there was another interview from October that I figured we can do tonight. And then tomorrow I have a bunch of other stuff that's all, ready to go with different updates from law enforcement and things. I found that starting from the most recent, like I said, because there were so many other cases that have been going on, would be helpful. And let me just pull up this other one, just one moment. So this was an interview that Chris also did in October of 2024. I don't know if a lot of people had heard this interview. It was in October 2024 on the 12th. And let's see if I can start that. Now, I had put the link in the description for, Sheila and Fred, the McCoys channel. And I had also shared it in chat for anybody that would like to go to that. And this was also a recorded call from October of 2024 that we just listened to. Now, this was another show that Chris
Everybody's
had
going to
gone
do what they
on,
feel is
with
necessary,
a TikToker
or what they
named
feel
Barbecue
that
Lady
by doing
and
what
another
they do
creator
is going to
from,
get
I
answers.
believe, TikTok that was going by the name of Tammy.
People are people.
And
They're
that was
grown,
back
they're
in
grown adults and
October.
make
And
their
I
own.
don't know if a lot of people have heard this one or not, but I know that we have a lot of people that haven't, heard any of these interviews, and that's why we're going over them, so that people can kind of get a full context of Sebastian's online case discussion.
Everybody's going to do what they feel.
We got somebody.
Do we?
I think so.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Let's see.
Knock, knock.
Add to stage.
Well, hello.
Well, hello there.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
We do have it downloaded, so if some reason it doesn't work, we'll just play it tomorrow, because all of these are obviously downloaded.
That's good. We were, a little bit earlier, we were talking about getting some flyers and stuff together, and we had some other conversations, and then figured we'd circle back around and see what you were doing and how you guys are holding up.
It's been a roller coaster ride, but we're hanging in there every day. We wake up is hopefully waiting for good answers and some news.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Couldn't imagine.
But keep putting out flyers, keep trying to do some stuff behind the scenes and work with law enforcement and do what we're supposed to be doing and living each day one day at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, how, it's just, y'all have done what law enforcement has asked you to do, and, and I get that. You got one side that follows the rules, one side that don't. It's just, I hate that it's turned into a side and side, but it definitely has.
It's definitely one of those things that that everybody's going to do what they feel is necessary, or what they feel that by doing what they do is going to get answers. People are people. They're grown adults that make their own decisions.
I think the only thing that's going to get answers is to continue spreading the awareness. The hanging up the flyers, the people that are out there searching.
The billboards.
Yep.
People can just get past.
I just changed if it was in 1080p and stuff, because the internet's acting wonky, and I don't feel like going and digging up the downloads where they're stored in the cloud. One of the people that I, associated with from this case that reached out to me has everything stored on a cloud, and then I have access to it. I think a lot of people do have access to these. If anybody wanted it, just email me. It's not hard to find the list of all of these videos. There's several, actually. I think there's several different spreadsheets. I think that lady Body Moving even had one, if I remember correctly.
It's all as I've heard it called, drama or whatever.
Bullshit.
There you go. You just get past that and focus on Sebastian.
For sure. And you definitely have, you and Katie have a lot of people that are behind you and supporting you, as you can see in our chat.
Well, we appreciate. I don't think I can see the chat.
You can if you push. I don't know what your phone looks like, but under your box it says stage, comments, chat. If you click the comment one, you can see the chat.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that.
Barbecue's all about teaching somebody how to do something. Yeah, so this is my first time doing a YouTube by myself, so don't be judging me if I don't know how to do everything correctly. But I did get you up here, so that's a plus.
I struggle to figure out all this stuff as well, so we're in the same boat.
Yeah, for sure. I even learned how to play videos on here, So like,
Oh, yeah.
I've even stepped it up.
So
You
there
did a
you go.
good job. I was surprised.
So how's everything going down there? Did you guys, y'all didn't get any of that aftermath of the hurricane, did you?
We did not. Nope. We didn't even get rain. We totally missed it here. Thank God.
I wish, I almost went down there last week, but then the more I thought about it, it's like, there's barely any resources down there for people, I don't want to be just an extra person, but there's a lot of people doing a lot of things for down there. So, like, I think the government should have came in a little bit better, but it restores your faith in humanity to know that your neighbors and community members and people from all over, not even just in your town, states away, people are coming together just to help people survive.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
Yeah, the sad part is it takes a catastrophic event for people to rally together to show support for one another than just doing it as your everyday just fellow man used to do, helping one another.
Yeah, I agree.
I do have faith in humanity. I think we will eventually get back to it. I really hope so.
I don't like to talk politics, but this is going to be, I feel like this is a make or break year for a lot of the trajectory that's been happening.
So basically this was supposed to be a thank you for the Billboard special, I guess, but they seem to really be buddies. And I think, right, this was October 2024. So this was after Chris and Katie Proudfoot had gone and met all of them when the TikTokers got together and they were live streaming, putting banners and flyers up, and they had all those photos together where they went to dinner and everything. And so that's after that. And then there was all of that goings on around that last summer of 2024. So by then, I'm sure they've, become friendly. But I did hear that people, that Chris was familiar with stuff because he did the crane and all of that, and he would spend a lot of time listening to different shows and things like that. That was the speculation that was going on, and, a lot of the online stuff. That's what people were saying. I don't know if that's true or not.
No, I can see
that.
They
seem to know each other now.
Stephen came up in my live earlier, and he was talking about, like, the people of West North Carolina where he's been. He said people come together, when stuff happens. He said, but the way that community has come together for each other, he said, is like nothing he has ever seen in his life.
Yeah, I've heard some of the things he's done. I listen to his lives every so often and whatnot. It's pretty heartbreaking. It kind of reminds me of Haiti, when the tsunami hit Haiti.
Oh yeah.
The tsunami hit Japan back then, and it was
Yeah, I agree.
Seeing all that firsthand, so that's.
Were you in the Navy then?
Oh yeah.
I don't even know when that happened. I'm trying to. What year was that?
Oh God.
I didn't always stay up on current events.
2012.
Oh wow.
It's been a while. It's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what exactly happened?
Well, you just had a tsunami wave that walked in and just wreaked havoc on the entire coastline and for miles and miles in. Not want to paint too graphic of a picture, but there was people laid everywhere. The smell was atrocious. Yeah.
Wow.
And then they deployed people like you to go help.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Different commands with different specialties. A lot of helicopter squadrons got deployed.
Yes, Tommy, I do think that is, considering it's a live about Sebastian and stuff, that you would not be wanting to discuss remembering decay smells. And it is a little unsettling that that's what he's addressing. And I also want to say that, of course, I support all of our soldiers in our military. I am a proud military mom. I come from a military family. But it does seem that, in light of what these conversations are entailing, that may be a key word for the, the yellow box, so to speak, you know, I don't know, the odd things to be wanting to talk about.
A couple of ships got put out that way.
Choice of wording is not very...
But yeah, I think even one of the hospital ships went out there, the Mercy or the Hope, I think, went out that way.
That's sad. The world is crazy. Like, if you really think about what really exists in the world, like Mother Nature, as most people call it, but like water is dangerous.
So dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, you're not guaranteed every day on this earth. You know, one day you wake up, the next day you may not. It's not our decision. It's the man's upstairs. But,
Are you working today?
no. I am off today.
That's good. Everybody deserves a day off.
It's kind of nice, actually, but
It's like campfire, marshmallow, s'mores weather up here in Pennsylvania.
it's getting that way down this way. It's
Mhm,
starting to get a
it
little
is.
chillier at night.
Yes, it is. I love it when it gets chilly at night. Barbecue was talking about turning the damn heat on last night, and I was like, no.
Damn, it was 47 degrees outside.
Ooh, that's perfect inside. That's the perfect
No.
weather inside.
What, 47 inside your house is
No,
perfect?
not inside. When it's that degrees outside, then
No,
inside.
but it was probably about 52 in my house.
Oh, yeah, that is cold. You're not gonna see me turn any heat on, but our house is very well, I guess, insulated. But it's gonna be November, December before heat comes on in my house.
Yeah, but we live in a different, like, we could get snow next week.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Your weather
Probably.
dynamics is so different out there. It is.
Like, right now, all of our leaves are damn near falling off the trees.
Wow, yeah, ours aren't. Not quite.
Nope.
Yep.
Not yet.
I think I'm going to go for a hike tomorrow. I was going to go on my TikTok and go for a hike. There's a spot that I used to go to, but you go through the woods across the ridge line, and then you can climb up this one little spot, and about 30-40 feet up, you like rock climb up the side of the thing, and when you get to the top, you can see for hours.
That's cool.
It's kind of like Lookout Point up there at the
Yes. Where you
Yeah,
can
we can
see
see-
how many states can you see there, Chris? It's like
Kentucky. Was it Kentucky, West Virginia, Virginia,
Oh, wow.
Maryland?
yeah, you stand in one spot and you can see all
It's like
these
6 or 7 states. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's so
Yeah,
cool.
just take some binoculars and I'll wave to you guys. Take a telescope. I got a telescope, actually. Maybe if you use a telescope, you could see me waving.
Well, they have those things up there, you know, you put the quarter in and you look through it.
Oh yeah, the timed out binoculars.
Yeah.
Speaking of telescopes, you know there's supposed to be some type of meteor showers going on this whole month of October.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
We had to go out and find the moon for one of a TikToker that we're friends with because she thinks the moon's disappeared, and she lives in North or South Carolina, y'all. She thinks she can't find the moon. She thinks it's left. It's
Did
left her.
did you guys get to see the borealis the other night?
I seen pictures of other people's.
Yeah, I didn't.
You know what's crazy is I have a really, really nice telescope. I like, because we're coming down to Nashville, but one, like the place we're staying has a rooftop, and we could have hooked. I'm thinking how I can get that telescope.
Oh no.
I am. I'm sitting here thinking, how can we get that telescope?
Girl, we don't need no telescope. We're
I
good.
could check a suitcase, and then I could carry the telescope on. Cause
I can just bring some binoculars.
No, but a telescope's different, Tammy. Like when you look at the moon through a telescope and you see the craters.
Nikki
it's
said you're not
different.
bringing no damn telescope.
Nikki.
Well, it is pretty cool to see that kind of stuff through a telescope. And
It is.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing that something was created to be able to like see that far away. I don't know. I mean, Tam, have you ever looked at a telescope, Tam?
Well, yeah, of course.
I got some moon pictures. I actually stuck my iPhone up to the lens.
Does that work? Do it that way?
Yeah. If you line it up right, you can one of your lenses on your phone. If you put it up to where the part where you put your eye at, you can see the moon. Like you can take pictures of it.
You know what? Kind of a little different, but if we're talking about the sky, on my way home from the vet, like you go through like no service at all. And my phone asked me if I wanted to connect to
The satellite.
Yes, it sure
Yeah,
did.
it's a new thing now.
Yeah, and it said to put my phone up and turn it a little bit to the left, and I connected to that satellite. It was crazy.
Listen, where I was at today, catering, it didn't have like a little like 1-inch square at the top of my screen with the earth, the round earth, not the flat one. And it was like, move to the right. It was like a little arrow.
Yeah, mine was doing that too. Is that with a new update or something?
I have no clue.
Chris, have you had that happen to your phone yet?
No, not yet.
Have you got an iPhone?
Oh yeah, got an iPhone.
Oh, well,
Then
it's
half
gonna
the
be
notifications
when you
that come
go.
through. I just, if it's not something
You
in
have to
regards
be
to
in
like
SOS
Sebastian,
mode.
half the time I don't even look at it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah. My son is a conspiracist, and he's always finding all this crazy stuff in the sky. And he's like, have you seen this? And have you seen this? And I'm like, no. And he said, you know why? It's because they invented phones so everybody would be looking down instead of up. If you get your face out of that phone sometimes and look up, you'd see some of this stuff. And I was like, you know what? You got a point there. We all are looking down.
Yeah, I mean, look at all the problems people are now having that we never used to have. Neck problems, eye vision.
Exactly.
You know,
Yep.
kids have
You're
lost
right.
their ideas of just going outside and being kids and playing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now with all the crazy and the crime and everything, you
Yeah.
can't even do that anymore.
Yeah, we didn't even think about that stuff when we were growing up. Our parents was off at work. We were at home by ourselves, and we were out in the woods, and we were riding our four-wheeler to the store that we wasn't supposed to be going to on the road, and all kinds of stuff. You could never do that nowadays. We were talking about people walking to school, like
I walked to school in like 2nd grade to and from.
that's
Oh
crazy.
yeah.
That's one thing I never did do. I never lived close enough to a school to walk to it.
Shit, even in high school, if I woke up late or something like that and I missed the bus, I had 2 chances to catch the bus. Once in the driveway, and then if I ran down through the backyard, jumped the fence, went down the dead end road, there was a stop down there. If I missed that, it's not but 3 miles to the school, so get to hiking.
I walked.
Now, did you grow up in? Did you grow up and go to school in Tennessee?
Mm-hmm. I attended Tennessee schools. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I wasn't for sure.
I lived at the bottom of a hill, and I walked up and over the hill. When I say a hill, I'm not talking a little itty bitty hill. I'm talking like you got to lean forward to walk up the hill.
Was you
But I
barefooted and was it 3 foot of snow?
I walked in the snow, the rain. No, we had school. No, they canceled school back in the day for us. Now they do virtual days. But I walked 18 blocks to school and 18 blocks home.
Yep, you sound like Grandpa. I walked to school. I walked uphill both ways there and on the way home, and I was barefooted, and it was 10 foot of snow. That's what that story reminded me of.
I don't know. The snow, I think the snow's pretty, but it's not. I don't particularly care for it.
Listen, Tammy's trying to get me to move to Alabama after my daughter graduates.
Yep.
There's some things that need to change with the Alabama laws a little bit, but other than that, I'm not opposed.
I don't know. I mean, I think everybody calls her Grandma Ivy. I think she might be on her last term. If she's on her last term, we get somebody new in there. We'll see what happens.
Who is that lady? She's like old as dirt.
Yep.
Yeah, but she's old, but she's also traditionally old school,
Mm-hmm.
which I think has kind of helped slow the progression of a lot of the things that most people don't want to see happen.
Yeah.
I think she's got a lot of good things, good reasons for what she's doing, as well as the people of Alabama. I mean, it's a real simple life. I mean, it's actually.
I mean, and we're in the Bible Belt too. You got to remember.
Oh my
I don't
God,
care for
Sammy.
income
I
taxes.
love
That's
it.
why I push away.
Listen, I know what you're spraying.
Oh shoot!
Does it have a white cap?
Yep. Sure does. I love to smell good. And you got ears like a damn elephant.
I'm
So
not always
is
though.
it
I'm hard of hearing though,
you?
but like sometimes I hear stuff. But here's the thing. I am very observant and inquisitive.
Yeah, you are. I bet Chris didn't even hear what you're even talking about.
Nope.
So every night I'm over here spraying myself with some good smelling stuff.
Oh, so you got what's that store that the ladies like to go to? Bed Bath and no, hold on.
Bath and Body Works.
Yeah, that one. And they get all them body sprays and stuff.
Yeah, no, I can't stand those, but I used to. I used to like them. Now we've moved on to this Sol de Janeiro that you can get at Ulta and Sephora, and it comes in all these different scents, and they're so freaking good.
I wasn't the only one that heard it. Look at
Did
the
y'all hear
chat.
it? Yep. the chat heard
the
it too.
room, Tammy.
They knew what I was doing too.
Someone's asking how Katie's doing. We don't want to ignore the chat because they're here all listening too.
Oh yeah.
She's, hanging in there. She's doing the best she can. She gets up every morning and puts one foot in front of the other and prays that we get an answer.
Yep.
I mean,
What do you think? What do you think the next step is?
What do you guys think about this? Isn't it interesting? Like, it's interesting that there's so many conversations that he's able to have with people, right? And they just seem like they've known each other for years almost. And, just, I don't know. It's just when you listen to these, it seems like there's very little about this that has to do with Sebastian Rogers' disappearance and ways to try to help raise awareness until there's somebody that you are able to get to hear about him that has that missing piece to solve. Where is he and what happened to him? Often I just, I listen and I'm just in awe of how little is really about Sebastian, right? I mean, it's just bizarre. It's bizarre. And the Hollywood, condensation, like the condensation. Oh my gosh, I'm going to bed soon, guys. Don't worry. We may have to cut this short and finish this one tomorrow. But yeah, it's just, I don't get it. I'm like, it doesn't seem, if you didn't know, you wouldn't know that this guy is missing his stepson, in my opinion. A lot of times. It really does come across that way.
I mean, because, and you don't have to answer this, obviously. This is just me kind of like thinking and talking out loud, but like, it's been over 7 months. The police have not said anything publicly since the first week of April. And I think that a lot of people feel like they deserve something to be come out and said, which nobody deserves that. We're not entitled to any of that. But April, May, June, July, August, September. So it's been 6 months since there's been a public statement, I guess.
Yeah, not even a press.
Is that something that is that something that can be requested by the family,
I mean, what I can tell you is, the same thing they would probably tell you. Right now, there's nothing. There's no leads. There's no anything. Right now, we're just kind of like...
Yeah, I'm going to replay that part because I thought it was really bizarre. Like, Trishy, I'm actually going to replay that because I was trying to understand what the heck was just said. It doesn't, what is...
Now we've moved on to the Sol de Janeiro that you can get at Ulta and Sephora, and it comes in all these different scents, and they're so freaking good.
I wasn't the only one that heard it. Look at
Did y'all hear it? Yep, the chat heard it too.
The room, Tammy.
They knew what I was doing too.
Someone's asking how Katie's doing. We don't want to ignore the chat because they're here all listening too.
Oh yeah.
She's, hanging in there. She's doing the best she can. She gets up every morning and puts one foot in front of the other and prays that we get an answer.
Yep.
I mean,
What do you think? What do you think the next step is? I mean, because, and you don't have to answer this, obviously. This is just me kind of like thinking and talking out loud. But like, it's been over 7 months. The police have not said anything publicly since the first week of April. And I think that a lot of people feel like they deserve something to be come out and said, which nobody deserves that. We're not entitled to any of that. But April, May, June, July, August, September. So it's been 6 months.
Bed Bath and hold on.
Bath and Body Works.
Yeah, that one. And they get all them body sprays and stuff.
Yeah, no, I can't stand those, but I used to like them. Now we've moved on to the Sol de Janeiro that you can get at Ulta and Sephora, and it comes in all these different scents, and they're so freaking good.
I wasn't the only one that heard it. Look at
Did y'all hear it? Yep, the chat heard
the
it too.
The room, Tammy.
They knew what I was doing too.
Someone's asking how Katie's doing. We don't want to ignore the chat because they're here all listening too.
Oh yeah.
She's, hanging in there. She's doing the best.
Hey guys, I don't know what happened to the StreamYards. It's whacking out on the computer. It'd be interesting to see if somebody's trying to, you know what, again. I don't think that would be very wise, but you know, hey, you never know. The more people do weird things, the faster answers may come. You never know. But yeah, I can't get back into the StreamYards on the laptop. Very interesting. But we can continue to listen. We can continue to listen. Hang on one moment. Let me pull it up over here. And let me turn down the background music. Is the background music too loud? It sounds a lot louder on my other device. Is that better? Okay. Let's see. One moment. Let me just start again over here.
Necessary.
Hmm.
Right now, there's nothing. There's no leads. There's no anything. Right now, we're just kind of like we're waiting on the one. There's got to be, you know, in most of these cases, there's always one thing. It's the one thing. They just need one for it to break, and then you know everything starts falling into place. And we are all waiting on that one thing. What is that one lead tip